Let me guess, you have a resume but it's not landing you the job interviews that you really want. Maybe you have submitted your resume to dozens of positions but still no result. In this video, I'm sharing a proven strategy to build a winning resume. Alright, so I'm going to be honest with you. Most people do not like writing a resume because they have to worry about font, grammar, structure, and in the end, it all comes down to listing down the achievements. And it hurts to find out that one does not have too many. But achievements or no achievements, we need to find a job, right? I know, writing a resume sounds complicated, but that's what I am here for. If you are a fresher or an experienced professional or someone trying to find a part-time job, today by end of this video, you will be surprised to see how easy it is to write a resume that will get you an interview call. So what is it that the interviewers look for in a resume? Today's recruiters skim resumes for an average of 7.4 seconds, and the objective is to get their attention in the first 4 seconds. It is less about what is it that they look for and more about what is it that interviewers see. For example, suppose this is the job that we are applying for the role of a software developer. Even though I took an example of an IT job, you can use the same principles for education, banking, hotel management, sales, or any other job that you like. Now the problem is, no matter what the job you are applying for, there will be hundreds if not thousands of people applying for the same job. If your profile is not appealing at the first glance, then you will be rejected right away, because there are a lot of other profiles waiting to be reviewed, which is why your resume should not be like a long boring list. It should be like an advertisement, short, to the point, and crisp. And that brings us to the resume structure. There are multiple ways to build a resume. One of them is to use a free or a paid resume builder. I've used this site called enhancedcv.com. I'll paste the link in the description box. It has a free and a paid version. You may also use Google Docs because it's free. Just so that we are clear, this video is not sponsored by Enhanced CV or Google Docs. You can use Microsoft Word or any other resume builder that you like. I've left the link of the Google Docs in description box. Go to that link, click on this button and select the template that says resume. As you can see, the structure is already built. Now let's understand what to fill in these sections. We are first going to build an experienced person's profile and then make a few changes to this profile so that it becomes a fresher's profile. The first thing that you need to write is your name. After name, add a professional title. This is where you use words or phrases that define you professionally, like problem solver, innovator, mentor, quick learner, etc. And also make sure that you support whatever you write in the professional title throughout the resume. Next is contact information, and these are the things that you can mention in this section. First is email ID. All of us have had weird email IDs like coolrocky@gmail.com. It looks extremely unprofessional, so create a new email ID that has your name and mention that. Write your phone number and next mention any social media profiles that were relevant to the position you are applying to, like your LinkedIn profile. Or if you are applying for a marketing role, then maybe you can even mention your Twitter or Instagram handles if it is a digital marketing role. And that is most of what you need to mention in the contact information. Things that you don't need to mention are your marital status, your religion, your date of birth, or even a photo, because all of this is unnecessary information taking up necessary space. Next comes experience. Here you will mention your current job first and then go back and mention your old jobs in a reverse chronological order. So mention the name of the company, your job role, and right beneath it, mention the time period you have held that role for. Suppose you were in a company but had different roles in the same company, then you can have a separate subsection of each role. Now that you have this template under each section, write down your responsibilities and key deliverables in a bullet point format. Remember, This section is an opportunity to showcase how your experience is aligned to the position that you are applying for, and make sure to use power verbs like chaired, controlled, coordinated, executed, headed, orchestrated, etc. while building this section. Don't worry, I'll leave a link that contains a lot of power verbs that you can use in your. Remember to sprinkle the keywords mentioned in the job description throughout your experience section, because that way the hiring manager will know that you have the experience that the team needs. And second point, always try to be specific about your achievements. Suppose you are applying for a digital marketing role, then don't just mention managed a Twitter handle. Instead, you can write revamped a business Twitter handle that has led over 100k followers, up by 20% in 2 months, and has led to a 2% increase on revenue. See the difference? Because you have added a number to your accomplishment, it gives the hiring manager confidence in your abilities. So try and add numbers and quantify as many bullet points as possible. Next is education. In case you have been working for quite some time, then it's best to keep your education section short and sweet. Suppose you have been working for 5 years or more, then it doesn't make any sense to mention your 10th or 12th percentages in the resume. Just mention your last degree, which can be your bachelor's degree or master's degree, and beneath it mention the time period. And right after that, in 3 to 4 bullet points, mention the highlights, which is like CGPA or any relevant coursework or honors, and that's it. If you are a student, you will obviously add a lot more in the education section. We will come to that in a minute. Next comes skill. Typically for a software job, you can mention the languages and the technologies that you know and rate them accordingly, how well you know them. But make sure that you include the skills that have been mentioned in the job description. This is a way to keyword optimize your resume, and we will talk about that again at the end part of the video. If you are from non-tech field, then you can mention your communication skills, critical thinking skills, leadership skills, social media skills, project management skills. Basically, do not forget to mention the skills that have been included in the job description. That's the main point here. Next is additional section. This is the best time to brag about any awards, certifications, publications, patents, volunteer work done, languages that you know, extracurricular activities, conferences, courses attended, or any other hobbies that you have which are relevant to the position. Just pick the best 2 sections and mention them. Now, before you hit export and send the resume to a hiring manager, a few points to remember. But before that, let's first see how we can modify this profile so that it becomes a fresher's profile. In case if you're a fresher or applying for an entry-level job, then the resume pretty much remains the same except for 3 very important changes. Number 1 is education. If you are a fresher, mention your education before your experience. List down your institution name, degree, and time period in reverse chronological order up to your 10th standard. And don't forget to have a separate column for your percentage or your CGPA. Next is experience. I know if you are a fresher, there isn't much that you can write under the experience section, but here are a few things that you can mention. If you are an engineer, then you must have done some mini projects in every semester. This is the perfect place to mention all of that. Write the name of the project and in 1-2 lines describe what is the project about. Mention any internships that you have done. Mention any paper that you have worked on with your faculty. Even if you used to take tuitions for kids or worked at McDonald's part-time to pay your college fees, mention that, because it tells the hiring manager that you are a committed person and have developed a sense of professionalism early in your life. The third and the final change is additional section. In case if you're a student, there are a lot of things that you can mention here. The best thing that you can mention is your competitive exam scores, your IIT JEE, your CAT, your GMAT ranks. In case if you have not given any of these, no problem. Then you can mention your college fest that you had participated in, hackathons, coding contests, paper presentation contests, etc. But before you hit export, here are 3 points to remember. Number 1, keep your resume to 1 page maximum. If you have information that is relevant to the position that you are applying to, then go ahead and add an extra page. But if you are adding fluff just for the sake of adding pages, then your resume will suffer. Number 2, always proofread and double check your resume, because nothing hurts a resume more than a grammatical mistake. The third and the most important point, never ever lie in your resume. If you don't have the skills, you might not get this job. But if you lie, then you might not be called for any future jobs the company might have. Sometimes it's okay not to have the skills, because most companies will be ready to train you, but honesty is a skill that no company compromises on. So that's how you write a resume. Before I tell you what's the bonus tip, if you know someone who is struggling with writing a resume, then take a moment and share this video with them, and hit that like button if you want me to make more career related videos. And finally, here is the bonus tip. Always keyword optimize your resume. I'll leave the link of a tool in the description box. Feel free to use it. If you want me to make a detailed video on how to keyword optimize a resume, then please let me know in the comment section. On that note, I promise to see you again in some time with another video. Until then, goodbye.